Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Edge Sports Network. Today, we got another interview for you guys, part of our summer series here on the site. We got Kholbe Coleman, Bowling Green linebacker. Kholbe, thanks so much for joining us on the site today.
Hey man, it's an honor. Thank you.
No problem at all. Good to have you on. Looking forward to this interview. I'm going to start here in high school. You had a really good high school career. You played varsity all 4 years. You were Super 7 state championship MVP. Team captain your senior year. You guys had 2 state championships in your time there. So going back to high school here, I mean, how does that success kind of give you a chip on your shoulder for college?
Man, just really going to Hoover High School just built a winning mindset
Mm-hmm.
in me, and we were all held to a high standard there. I came into the culture; it was already a winning culture. They already were used to going to the championship every year, so
Mm-hmm.
they just demanded greatness. So our team, we had close camaraderie. Every day we came out to work, with goals in mind. We didn't want to be that class to not
Mm-hmm.
win, So
Mm-hmm.
we just came out every day ready to work and ready to grind, and I think that helped me a lot throughout college.
Yeah, I mean, you've looked really good in your career at Bowling Green so far. We'll get into that. And I mean, how's the decision go into, going to Bowling Green? I mean, what kind of had you set on the school? I know you're from Alabama, so what'd you like about the program? Did you kind of plan on going far away? I mean, did you ever think of staying local, or is it just kind of, I'll see where I fit best and make the decision there?
And really, I had no problem with leaving home. I
Mm-hmm.
always wanted to see new things, and then I went out to go visit Ohio. Actually, a family member was a D line coach
Oh, wow.
there, and that's a great connection right there. But other than that, I knew of Bowling Green before, and I knew that they won multiple MAC championships. So I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be a part of a winning culture, and the staff was amazing. Coach Jinx and them, they had me at the top of their board, so I wanted to go to a place where I really felt wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And they made me feel that way. I like the culture there, and I just like the campus as well. So I just wanted to go there and make the impact. So that's what really weighed on a lot of my decision making.
And I know family seems to be a big thing for you. I know growing up, I'm sure your dad was a pretty big influence on you. He played football at UAB. Before we went on for the interview here, I know you mentioned he's a coach now. So obviously talent runs in the family. So growing up, just how big of an influence was he on you? Did he kind of introduce you to the game and get you set on football? I mean, what was it like growing up with family that played collegiate football, coaches now? I mean, how was that experience?
Oh my gosh, really competitive, man.
Yeah.
He started me. He started me off really early at the age of 3. Being a single
Oh.
parent, probably one of the best decisions. But hey,
Hmm.
someone has to make it being the first kid. So he wanted me to be just like him. Really, he just instilled in me, work hard every day,
Hmm.
and then things are going to happen for you. So every day he started me off. He started me off with his own camps, conditioning camps, strength camps, just
Hmm.
working every day for that goal in mind. So I really built up a good work ethic from being a youngster,
Hmm.
and then in high school, he was coaching D line at Hoover.
Hmm.
And he's always gonna notice me. I mess up. He's gonna see me. He's gonna cuss me out, get on my butt. It just you never leave football. You,
Uh-huh.
you you come from practice and you come home. You talk more football. But he's been the biggest influence on my life. Always been
Hmm.
supportive. Always been at every game. Always been at every visit.
Hmm.
He's just the ideal person you think of when you want to think of a father figure. And yeah, he's just an amazing man, amazing family. My brother plays quarterback at UAB,
Hmm.
so it's just a football family.
Yeah.
I see my little brother. He's 8 years old. He's throwing the ball across the house all type of
Oh
nights.
man.
He doesn't sit down. So I mean, it's just a culture here.
See, I was not aware that your football career actually started at the age of 3. That's good to know right there. It certainly has served you well, and I know I was reading a Q&A session that was done with you back in your high school days. It was done by the Hoover Sun, and I have to ask you about this before we jump into the college career. I saw your dream job would be to own a boat business and travel across the ocean and stuff, kind of see everywhere. I know you mentioned, with your college decision, you kind of wanted to get away from home, see some new things. I have to ask you though, I mean, The boat business, that's not one you hear every day. I mean, what kind of had you hooked on that?
Man, really, what had me hooked on that? I used to watch the movie Forrest Gump so many times
Oh
when
yeah.
he had that shrimp boat.
Oh yep.
Man, that that influenced me a lot, man. Just like my dad and I always had this like dream of traveling the world. You know what I'm saying? Tasting a bunch of food and all this
Mhm.
stuff. And I'm from like I grew up in Mobile, Alabama. That's around the beach and stuff.
Mhm.
And my grandparents, they always go fishing. They're always around the water, so that always fascinated me. So going in the boat business like would fit perfectly.
It seems like it'd be pretty fun. Pretty tough. I feel like there's a lot of upkeep on the boats, but I mean, once you get that down, I feel like it'd be a good time. I mean, you get to really go anywhere you want to, see a lot, you know, experience a lot of different cultures and stuff. But yeah, I think that was really interesting. I've never really had anyone that I've talked to want to get into the boat business, so I was like, I gotta ask him about that. I mean, I don't know where that comes from, but that would definitely be a cool job to have for sure. And I mean, let's jump into the college career now. I mean, you've had a really successful college career so far. You've really gotten better every single year that you've played. When you get to Bowling Green, you played in 12 games your freshman season. So going into your freshman year, I mean, what were you really focused on? I know your dad has obviously been a huge influence on you, has really made you work hard, but going into freshman season, what were the expectations there? I mean, did you have any huge goals, or was it kind of like not really a trial run year, but a year just to kind of get your feet wet, see where were at, talent-wise at the collegiate level, and just kind of try and get used to that pace of play?
Really, my freshman year, my main goal was to get on the field and make some type of impact, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then moving from a good high school program to the collegiate level, I wanted to just compare myself to everyone and see how I level out my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And my freshman year, I was in a lot of packages, you know, and then they would
Mm-hmm.
rotate me in a lot in big games. So, you know, being that young on a big stage, playing Northwestern, playing Michigan State, you know, that it's kind of overwhelming, but
Mm-hmm.
you need those situations to get better.
Yeah.
And I feel like my freshman year is very successful, and I got a lot of coaching, and I just felt good as a player, and it built my confidence. So,
Yeah, I think you use it as a good year to kind of leap off of because your sophomore year you come out you had 70 tackles, which was third best on the team, as opposed to your 21 tackles your freshman year. I mean that's a big jump, and you made another huge jump this past season. We'll get into that in a second here, but when you're making that jump from freshman to sophomore year, can you walk us through what the first college off season was like? I mean, what kind of work do you put in? You know, what's the training? How do you stay focused? Because high school is one thing, you know, we know that, but I feel like your first year of college, when you have that first off season where you are at a D1 school, it's a little bit different. You got to work a little bit harder. So, what was that off season experience like for you?
I always got the message that you can do the workout as everyone else on your team
Mhm.
and everyone else in the country, but to be better, you have to put in that extra work.
Mhm.
So in the summers, that's a great time to, you know, focus on the film room, focus on weights, focus on getting that extra conditioning or skill work. So
Mhm.
that was my mindset. I always do work when everyone's asleep or when everyone's not looking. I'm still doing my work. So that's how
Mhm.
I improve every year to be better. You know, so that's my main focus every year to make leaps and gains like I want
Mhm.
to, and I just set out goals. I write things down on my mirror and look at it every day just to make sure I do it and hold myself accountable. So those are things I needed to do and that I did to be better.
You made a really big leap. That's in your sophomore year. That was clear. And, you know, some guys might be content with that year they had. They might say, you know what, that was a good year right there. I'm happy with that. You came out even stronger this past season in your junior year. Now, I just want to ask, as an upperclassman, do you feel more responsibility to be a leader on the team for the younger guys? I know when you come into a program, you kind of got to learn for yourself, let the game come to you and just go through things in order to get better. But when you're a leader on this team, you know, what's your outlook on helping these younger guys? Do you think they should be taught by older guys such as yourself, or do you think they kind of should figure it out on their own?
Me coming into my freshman year, you
Mm-hmm.
know, freshmen are very nervous,
Yep.
timid. They don't really want to say anything. The seniors, that I was around, they helped me out. They
Hmm.
guided me, taught me things. So that's how I grew up. I always want to, you know, treat people better than how I was treated. I want them to have the
Hmm.
upper hand. So this upcoming freshman class, you have to be a leader. You
Hmm.
have to teach them the ropes because they're scared. This
Hmm.
is they don't know how college works just out of high school. So I'm already coaching up the freshmen, getting them ready because the seniors are going to have to leave one day. The
Hmm.
upperclassmen are going to have to leave, and they're going to have to take over. So if you want the culture to be great, you have to coach them up and build them up so they can
Hmm.
keep it running. So I feel like you need to connect with the freshmen, and and leadership is a big role according to a team.
Yeah, you were one of this team's leaders this year. I mean, you go for 103 tackles on the year. That led your team, was good for eighth in the MAC. You also got third team all MAC. You had two forced fumbles. You had a few games with 10 plus tackles. I mean, just an overall great year for you. When things click like that, I mean, I just want to ask you, how's that feel? I mean, you've been working for that your entire life since the age of 3. And more importantly, how does a year like that motivate you to come out and have an even stronger season next year? Because we've seen it before in your career. I mean, freshman year, you make that jump from freshman year to sophomore year, and then your sophomore year, you just come out, have a good season, and then you go into junior year, have an even better season. So you'd have to expect, looking at the trend here, your senior year is going to be even better than your junior season. So how do you, use your junior year as motivation and really just say, hey, I'm doing great so far, but maybe I can do even better?
Really, at first I want to like thank my defense and my team
Mm-hmm.
because we have such a good camaraderie, good communication. We
Mm-hmm.
set each other up for success, and they set me up for a lot of positions and a lot of plays that I made. And I want to thank them at first, especially my D line, just keeping them big boys off me.
Mm-hmm.
But during this pandemic, really, even though saying due to the circumstance, we don't have a lot of tools and stuff we can use. But
Mm-hmm.
really, I'm looking for my junior season to my senior season. I just have to be great. I motivate myself every day to get up, go work out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my senior season. It's your last year. You got to go your hardest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what motivates me every day to work and grind and just get better for my team, get smarter, get bigger, get faster. So that's just my self motivation, really. And I just want to do it for my team as well. I want to go to that night championship. I want to go to that bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really motivation within myself and motivation for my teammates and what I want, the goals that I want for my team.
And I'm sure there's days where, especially during this pandemic, I mean, I'm sure there's days where you wake up in the morning and you're just like, oh my God, like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go do this workout right now. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. So I think it's those days like that that really separates the guys who are going to be successful from the guys who might not have the best of seasons. And clearly you're putting in the work even though we're in the midst of this pandemic. And I mean, I think that's a tough thing to do. I mean, not every guy has that willpower to do that. So I just want to ask before we get into the final two questions here, when you have that willpower right there, do you kind of attribute that to the way you were raised or just kind of your own work ethic? I mean, I know you mentioned your dad was a huge influence. I didn't know you were taking, reps and getting ready at the age of 3, but apparently you were. So, I mean, how do you kind of keep that willpower, especially in a time like this? I think right now is such a unique time for athletes, just people in general, but I feel like a lot of athletes are really feeling the toll of this pandemic. How do you kind of just keep that mindset to keep going even on the days where you don't want to?
Really, I get this mindset from my dad. My dad always told me, flip that switch. You
Mm-hmm.
know, things could be going bad. You could be in a little lull. You could feel like not waking up and doing something. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to flip that switch and get ready and get yourself motivated to get up every day.
Mm-hmm.
So and then there's been times where I look at my family. There's
Mm-hmm.
been times where my dad had to work 3 jobs just to help maintain the family, keep the family going.
Wow.
Even when he didn't want to, but he looks at me, he looks at my mother, he looks at my brothers, and he
Mm-hmm.
gets up every day because for us. So I want to do that for myself, and I want to do that for my family. And I want to flip
Mm-hmm.
that switch, even though when I don't want to, I
Mm-hmm.
still have to because I want to make myself better, and I want to do this for my family and my teammates. So really, this pandemic, it does hurt in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
especially waking up early, but
Yeah.
you got to do it. You got to do it. You have to have that edge.
That's a great attribute to have, and a lot of guys don't really. I mean, I think a lot of guys they have that deep down, but I think right now, especially, a lot of guys might have lost sense of that. So to see that you're still keeping that, I mean, you're setting yourself up for a really, really good senior season here. And I'm gonna end on 2 questions here. The first one, a fun one. You gotta have fun with this first question here. The second one, it's gonna make you think a little bit, but it's also a good one. The first one here, if you could lay out any offensive player in the NFL right now, past or present, who would it be and why? I mean, you're going to have the highlight reel the rest of your life. You can show the grandkids. You know, you could be traveling on the fishing boat, show them the clip, be like, this is who I laid out. Absolutely major hit stick. Who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Really, I wanna lay out Derrick Henry. Really
Wow.
Because he seems like he's like the Goliath of the league.
Yeah.
Know? So really, if you lay out him, you'll get some cool points. Like, God, like how do you tackle this man?
I know.
So like, I feel like if I lay him out, I'll get some really good cool points. And then like I'll definitely frame that picture. If there's a picture, I'll pay you $1 million to get that picture done frame.
I'll tell you what, I would love for you to lay out Derrick Henry. Our site is based in Massachusetts, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge Patriots fan. I'm sorry, but. Oh my, I was home from school and my dad and we said, you know what, I'm home. Pats are in the playoffs. Brady might be going somewhere else. Obviously he ends up in Tennessee, or not Tennessee, excuse me. He ends up with, Tampa Bay. The game was against Tennessee, the playoff game. Derrick Henry ran all over the Patriots. All over. Oh my God, I was at the game. And it was probably the worst night of my life. I've never been more upset. And it ended up being Brady's last game too. So I am a full supporter of you laying the hit stick on Derrick Henry. I'm a full supporter of it. If it does happen, I'm gonna get the picture framed. It's going up in the office here. Full support. I can totally get behind that. Derrick Henry, one of the best backs in the NFL. I mean, he's a tank, as you mentioned. So I think if you get that opportunity, please take full advantage. Please take full advantage.
I'll do it specifically for you and shout you out, man.
Perfect.
To mend up your heart.
That is what I like to hear right there. That would make the heartbreak go away. I'd feel a lot better. So I'm really supporting you on this one. I am really 100% behind you here. But to end up here, I mean, if you could describe what football means to you in one word or phrase, what would that word or phrase be? I mean, I know this is a tough question. You might have thought about it, you might have not. But if you could kind of just wrap up your entire career here in just one word, what football has meant to you in your life, what would it be?
I would say relentless fight.
Wow, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Because just growing up with this game since I was 3, it's just been a relentless fight with, probably not getting the biggest offers, but still working hard to try to get those. And because everyone wants to be me growing up at Alabama, I wanted to go to Alabama, I want to go to Auburn, a bunch of SEC schools. But being undersized and all that just really motivated me and just instilled like relentlessness every day to work after that, So, and then still in college football, just being relentless to be great and try to go to the next level. So that's what it really means to me. And I just love the game, man. Just love everything about it. So I wish to go on to the next level and everything. So that's what it means to me.
Hey, future's bright for you, man. You certainly live by that phrase every day on the field, every day in the off season, it seems like as well. But Kholbe Coleman, everyone, Kholbe, thanks so much for joining us here on the site. It was absolutely great to have you on.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
No problem at all. We'd love to have you on again in the future. Right after you hit stick Derrick Henry, we'll have you right on the site so you can talk about that. We're going to put Kholbe's Twitter down below so you guys can follow him on there, follow his career journey. Also follow the boating business once he gets it, hopefully later on in life. And guys, we'll also put a link to the Bowling Green football website, as we always do with teams we cover here on Ed Sports Network, so you can follow them this season. But guys, thanks so much for joining us for another interview here, part of our summer series. We hope you guys enjoyed. Hope everything's going well with you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.